Hello everyone and welcome back to more Marvel Champions, and we are up to the penultimate scenario of the Rise of the Red Skull, Scenario 4 against Armin Zola. We defeated Taskmaster last time and I thought we did it without an asterisk. I thought that it was a genuine, just close to the wire win. However, when I was editing that video I noticed, and I'm sure comments probably pointed out as well when the video went live, it was not, it was an asterisk win, because when Hawkeye's Nemesis Crossfire came out for the third video in a row, he had Quick Strike, which I did resolve against War Machine, who had a tough stats card. However, I forgot that Crossfire also has Piercing, so he would have ignored War Machine's tough and taken him out. And that matters because then there was a Mimicry encounter card, I believe it was, right after that dealt 3 damage. And in the playthrough, I had War Machine take that because I thought he was still alive, because the tough had used up Crossfire's attack. Nope, that would have went on Hawkeye. Hawkeye had 1 health, so it would have been a loss. That said, we're still just playing on, but it is another asterisk for the pile. Anyway, let's move on and talk about what we're doing today against Zola. So Armin Zola is on Ellis Island. It's called the Island of Dr. Zola. I don't need to explain the reference they're making there, I hope. 12 HP, he has Retaliate 1 built in, Scheme of 2, Attack of 1, and this is all put to one side because I've already done the setup. When you do the setup, each player or person you're playing as, you get engaged by an ultimate bio servant. 1 attack, 1 scheme, but they get +1 attack for each upgrade attached to them, and they start with toughness, so they also start with tough. So that's going to be down here engaged with me when we start the game. It also starts with Hydra Prison in play, with 1 threat on it by default, +1 threat for each value of the person trapped there. You have to capture a ally from your specific cards. So Mockingbird has been captured again. She's just prevailing with that damsel in distress stereotype, I guess. Although that is going to be confusing if we yet again see Crossfire, because it doesn't tell you to look for Mockingbird in a side scheme, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. It might not come to that, and we definitely want to rescue her, because if we don't rescue her, she is not going to be part of our deck for the finale. And I think that bit covers it, except for just the Island of Dr. Zola itself. You use his encounter cards, you use the standard encounter cards, and it suggests you use the under attack module, which is from the core box. I have done so. We've done all that. It tells you to search the encounter deck for Hydro Prison, done that. It tells you to search for the Ultimate Bioservant, done that. So then we would flip over. It is a 2-part scheme. The first part moves on if it gets to 6. It starts with 0 and gets 1 per player every villain phase. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, put 1 test counter here. When there's 3, you discard cards from the encounter deck until you find a minion and put it into play. And I have been informed that if a card is put into play rather than revealed, you don't do the on reveal effects, which might matter for this. So it will eventually go to the Mad Doctor, but we'll cover that when we actually get there. In fact, that's on the wrong side. It should be on that side. There we go. And I believe that covers everything. Not super complicated. He's more about scheming and upgrading and getting out a bunch of minions. So the fact that we'll be doing lots of base damage as Hawkeye should hopefully be helpful. We used up our tactical scanner last time, so the only campaign related upgrade we have left is the basic attack upgrade. If we do succeed today, it gets upgraded to its other side. But for now, it's just giving us +1 health and +1 attack. So once we get Hawkeye's bow out, we will have 4 base attack, which is really good, and it makes up for his lack of options for dealing with threat, which is once again going to be a problem today, I'm sure. So we'll get started after this quick word from my channel sponsor. This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that will take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks. So let's see if we're going to be removing dog hairs first of all. How on earth did those get there? Mulliganing anything from our initial hand of 6. We have Lead from the Front. We have a Sky Cycle. We have Earth's Mightiest Heroes. We have Kate Bishop Hawkeye. We have a Sonic Arrow. And we have the Black Knight. Well, I'm going to be getting rid of these 3 for sure, and I think I'll just hold on to the rest. So we'll mulligan those. Oh, that's fantastic. We found his quiver straight away. Oh, and we found his bow, so I'm not going to need to sacrifice a card. That's also good. That's 5. And a strength card. That is a pretty strong opening hand, which is just as well, because we've got to deal with that guy. And I will be able to do that as long as I can find a way to get rid of that tough. Alright, now we're ready to start. So, let's begin. I don't need to go fishing for the bow, we're just going to equip it because it is free. So there we go right there. Flipped over to hero side. And we definitely want to keep bishop out. So let's just use the strength card to do that. Pays her whole cost. And we're going to have her attack to get rid of a tough and lose half her health instantly, but hey, that's just what we've got to do. And I'm then going to get rid of Black Knight, unfortunately, because I want to get the quiver out. And we're going to immediately use the quiver. So you look at the top 5 cards and you put a arrow card from those in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep them in the right order. It also lets us know what we're going to be drawing, which is nice. Explosive arrow is my only option. I'm just planning ahead as well. So power of leadership would be good for lead from the front. Yeah, that's a pretty good hand. So again, it has to go back in the same order. And explosive arrow goes in the quiver, not in my hand. So what's left in my hand is a sonic arrow, and I'm holding on to that. So Hawkeye is attacking for 4. 2 base, 1 for the bow, 1 for the basic attack upgrade that's out of camera because you don't need to see it, it's just always in effect and can never be removed. So he's tapping to do 4 damage, taking out that minion. And that is going to be my turn. We didn't do anything threat-wise on Hydra Prison. We're just going to have to chip away at that as we go. And I'm drawing 4 because I'm keeping 1 card in hand and we know what the 4 are. So I don't need to really spend much time on it. Also pretty much dictates how our next turn is going to go. But that is my hand right there. Villain turn, 1 threat on the island Dr. Zola. But also 1 marker for monsters coming out. Dr. Zola is going to be attacking me and I'm going to have Kate take the hit. Base of 1 plus. I'm glad I did. That's 4. Thank you for taking that, Kate. See you again soon, probably. And then an encounter card. Pain inhibitors. Attach to the minion. Well, there's no minions. If you cannot, this card gains surge. Okay. We'll worry about that card when we actually have to do the effects. Mind Ray. Zola attacks you. You are stunned. I am shocked. Not just stunned. I'm shocked. So he's hitting us. I'll just take the hit because his defense is only 1 anyway. So he's hitting for 1. He's hitting for 2. So that's 2 damage, putting us down to 8. The stun is a more of an annoyance though that we're going to have to work around. As we begin this turn, I'm going to tap the quiver to once again look at the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to try and load up another arrow into the quiver. And it's 1 option, so let me just look also at what I'm going to be getting. That again, Avengers Tower and Energy, that might help pay for it, I suppose. So now there's a Vibranium arrow and an Explosive arrow in my quiver. I'm probably not going to use either of them, unfortunately. I was rereading the Goliath card, and it's only if you do the action that he disappears at the end of the phase, which is the way that he gets +4 attack also. And I'm going to pay for him to come out. So he is a leadership card, so this counts for 2. There's 3, there's 4. I hope this isn't a mistake. And I'm going to have him come out, I'm going to have him thwart. I'm going to have 2 come off of the Hydra Prison. He takes 1 consequential. And that is that. That leaves a Sonic Arrow in my hand still. I'm going to try and attack with Hawkeye. The stun goes away. And I'm fine with taking a hit again, I think. Yeah, so we'll just end my turn there. I have 1 card in hand. So that means I'm drawing 4. And once again, we know what the 4 are because we just saw them. So, oh, colour me surprised, it's those 4. What a shock that is. So that is my hand. We get a second counter plus a second threat on the main scheme. When it gets to 3, it's going to proc a minion. And Zola is attacking us. I'm just taking it for 1. 1 plus. Shuffle Zola's and mutate into the encounter deck. Oh, it just goes right back in. So I'm taking 1 damage first of all. Let's handle that first. But then it does tell me to shuffle first. So before we draw an encounter card. Which means he might just come right back out, or a different version of him. I think there's 3 of each minion type, and there's 3 minion types. Okay. Encounter card. Under attack, when revealed, each player chooses to either place 2 threat here or deal 3 damage to their hero. I'll place 2 threat here, so it has 5. I'll just keep it over there. And we have to clear that before we can clear the main scheme. Although his Sonic Arrow ignores that effect. Or not Sonic Arrow, sorry, the Cable Arrow. Well, I'm once again going to go fishing. I want a Cable Arrow. Let's see if I can actually get one. Oh, that's good that that's coming out. Cable Arrow. taking that, it goes in the quiver, so that means at the end of this turn, yeah, we're definitely drawing Expert Marksman. Having US Agent is a good thing as well. Excellent. So I've got quite the collection in the quiver right now, but if I do want to play something from it, I am still having to pay, and we don't have, if I hold off for a turn. Let's see, we can immediately get rid of under attack, which I think I'm going to do. So we'll have Goliath thwart for 2, which gets him another consequential damage. That means that's got 3 currently, and I shall pay Avenger's Tower to use a cable arrow that we just took out, that's in the quiver, not in my hand, to remove 3 threat, which would be the last 3 on this, and we'll immediately get rid of it. Keep that under control. And that also uses up the bow. Do I want to do anything else? I could use Hawkeye to ready the bow and fire again. Yeah. So I'll tap Hawkeye to ready the bow, immediately unready the bow again, use up the energy card to fire off a sonic arrow to do 3 damage to Zola and confuse him. So he goes down to 9 in form 1. And then I'm going to get rid of Power of Leadership to use Ready for Action to give Goliath a tough status card. And then I'm going to flip down to Clint. And in my turn there, I've got nothing in my hand, but there's still an explosive arrow and a vibranium arrow in the quiver, which is real good. And we know we're getting that Expert Marksman now. Oh, we don't know 1 card we're drawing, because I'm drawing 6. War Machine, Earth's Mightiest. Those were the 2, sorry, because I was anticipating having 1 card left in my hand and we had none. Okay, that's a good hand. And with that, villain turn. This is proccing up to 3, so if there are 3 or more counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and put them into play, and then remove all the counters. So it would proc up to 3 right now, speaking of which it has 3 threat on it. So, until we get a minion. That's not a minion. That's not a minion, but I'm real glad it's gone. That's not a minion. That's not a minion. We'll find one sooner or later. There's a minion. Is that the one that enters with toughness? It is. I'm going to have to get out another tough status card. Just very quickly, we've got them right here. So this is exactly the same as what we started the match with. So he's got tough right there. And then Zola tries to scheme. He's confused. He can't. He schemes for 1 successfully. Encounter card. How does that scheme? Attach to the minion with the most remaining hit points. Okay, so we have one. He's got +2 hit points and guard. So he's got 6 health now. That's pretty annoying. Although a vibranium arrow actually just ices him. So, I was going to consider recovering. Do I want to fire 2 arrows in my turn? I guess that's the real question. Can I fire 2 arrows in my turn? I could. I definitely need to fire the vibranium one because it cancels tough and does 6 damage. So, as I mentioned, it just wipes him out and there's 1 in the quiver. Oh, speaking of which, let's use the quiver again. Why not? We have it from the start, might as well. It really is his key thing. So we have all our... Oh, let's put the cable arrow in, actually. I was going to take the electric arrow, but I know I'm about to draw into it next turn anyway. Just so I have that option for the threat, because the threat is about to take over. On that note, I think I do want to fire 2 arrows, so I'm not going to recover. I'm just going to flip straight back to Hawkeye. And let's get started. So, I'm going to get rid of team training, and that is going to let me equip Expert Marksman. You tap it, you get a wild resource for arrow events only. With that, we can use cable arrow, but for now, let's use... Get rid of War Machine and Earth's Mightiest Heroes to pay for the vibranium arrow I have in my quiver. That taps the bow. 6 damage, it has piercing. Discard any tough cards before dealing damage. So, get wrecked and take your upgrade on the way out. 1 problem handled. I am then going to tap Hawkeye to ready the bow. Now, what is my ideal option for order here? That's 3. He would do 2. I will have Goliath thwart for 2. The tough gets used up instead of the consequential damage, as is my understanding anyway. And that clears Hydra Prison. Which I presume... Does this go back into the deck? When defeated, remove the scheme from the game, return each ally beneath it to its owner's hand. So we'll just bung that up there then, and Mockingbird goes into my hand. Sadly, we're not going to get to play her, though. Let's see. We're going to tap Expert Marksman, which we just equipped, to pay for Cable Arrow, and we're going to remove 3 threat from the main scheme. Because we've got to keep that under control, because he really struggles with that. Now there's just an Explosive Arrow left in the quiver. And we're going to get rid of US Agent in order to use Ready for Action and give Goliath another tough status card. Because I think I'm about to have him take a hit for me. So he might as well be tough. And then that is my turn. So ready all that up. I've got cards down here which are hopefully... I'm never too sure how zoomed in I should make this. Only thing left in my hand is Mockingbird. We're drawing 4. So we know these 4 because we just saw them. Good choices. End of turn. 1 threat on the main scheme. It starts ticking up again to spawning another monster. Zola attacks. I'm having Goliath take the hit. You do have to draw the card for a tough stats card, so it's base 1. That's 3. Another good card to see rid of. Tough stats card gets used up. Encounter card. Ooh, it's a Berserk Mutate with Quick Strike. That's annoying. Okay. So, it's hitting for 2. If Goliath takes that, he's down. I will take it. So I'll just take it as is, so that's Clint down to 5 health remaining. And back to me. So I think we're really getting to see how Hawkeye's deck can be really good if you get the quiver early. He's got no way to look for the quiver, so it's pure luck. You can only look for the bow, but yeah. So we're tapping Expert Marksman as a 1 wild resource. We're going to play Explosive Arrow from hand, not from the quiver. So there's still 1 in the quiver. That's 3 damage to every enemy engaged with me. So the mutate is gone, and Zola is down to 6 and form 1. Which is pretty nice. Then, do I get Mockingbird out? Let's use the quiver, speaking of which. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to see if there's an electric arrow coming. There is. But there's also a vibranium arrow. I'm going to take the electric arrow, put that in the quiver, and we know we're going to draw into this. As long as I draw 4. So, okay, good. That way I could get Mockingbird out. Yes, I'll spend the 3 in my hand to get Mockingbird out. So my hand is completely empty. Mockingbird comes out, I'm going to have her thwart for 2. Clear this off, take 1 consequential damage. And let's see. If I could make Goliath proc his, his mechanic right now, which means he hits Zola for 5. Nah, not good enough. No, I'll hold off. I'm not doing anything with Goliath. I'll have Hawkeye attack for 4, put Zola down to 2. And that is my turn. Ready up, ready up, ready up, ready up. Put everything here together, and we're drawing 5 because my hand is empty. So we definitely only have 2 left. But we know what we've got mostly. Sonic Arrow, Vibranium Arrow. They always end up together. It is so weird. Alright, enemy turn. 1 on the main scheme. 2nd counter for spawning another mutant. And he is attacking me. I'm going to get rid of a Sky Cycle to make Mockingbird do that thing where she comes back into my hand and it negates the damage. But we have to see what the damage is first. So it's 1. It would have been 3 damage. But she just goes back into my hand instead. And then an encounter card. Well, would you look at that? It's another Ultimate Bioservant. Thankfully, I think we have another Vibranium Arrow. We do. Although that's a bit of a waste on him, actually. I need to think for a second. Alright, I've made my mind up about what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap Expert Marksman for 1 resource. I'm going to take the Explosive Arrow that's in the quiver. And we're going to proc that, so 3 damage to every enemy engaged with me. That uses up the tough, and it takes Zola to phase 2. So, get rid of that. At phase 2 he becomes attack 2, as opposed to just 2-1. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for test subject, side scheme, and reveal it. So reveal it means you do its on reveal effects. And you shuffle the encounter deck, and he has 14 health. That's not that much. which makes my chosen plan of action more viable, actually. But we need to look for, what was it called? Test subject side scheme. Test, oh, there it is. It was on the bottom of the deck. And then shuffle this. Well, not the literal bottom, it was the third from the bottom, but still, you get what I mean. So, test subjects. When defeated, the first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they reveal a minion, and it starts with 2. That's not that bad, actually. It gets another enemy out, sure. I kind of wish I'd held on to the explosive arrow if I'd known that. But that's okay. So, what else can we do? My plan was to go all in on Zola by hitting him for 5 with Goliath, hitting him for 4 with Hawkeye, that's 9, and then... oh, I think I can just win, because I have a Vibranium Arrow in hand. Yeah, I think I can just win. Hang on, 5, 9, 15, and he's got 14, and you don't have guard. Yeah, we're just gonna win, actually. So, I'm proccing Goliath's action. Goliath gets +4 until the end of the round, but then he disappears at the end of the hero phase. So he's hitting for 5, but then he goes away to consequential damage anyway. He hits for 5, that's putting Zola down to 9. Hawkeye is attacking for 2, 3, 4, putting him down to 5. We're tapping the bow and spending Earth's Mightiest and the Sky Cycle, doesn't really matter, to fire off a Vibranium Arrow for 6, and that takes him from 5 to dead. As it turns out, Hawkeye is really powerful if you get the quiver really early. If you don't get the quiver, he kind of sucks. If you get the quiver, he's ridiculously powerful, because once per turn you can just search for an arrow to keep in here, and it's not like it's got a limit. As long as you can do it once per turn if you want. The only reason I didn't there is because I'd have to empty the deck, because there was 2 cards left. Oh, as it turns out, it was the other expert marksman and genius. So that, surely, is our first legitimate win, and it's purely because we got this super early. And even if I had to do something else, we couldn't have played anything else this turn, but we would have had 2 strong cards left in hand, and I don't think we would have lost. My plan was going to be, before I worked out I had enough damage, was to do all that flip down, so there'd be a turn of scheming. Even if it finished the island of Dr. Zola, that isn't the fail condition. It moves on to the Mad Doctor, which gets a minion put out against you, and then it needs 8 to win. Still does the same thing with the test counters, etc. But yeah, we weren't even close to losing that one. That was easier than the Absorbing Man. Finally, a legitimate victory with no chance of an asterisk, largely in part because we avoided crossfire for once. Victory. Each player engaged with an enemy records they are engaged with an enemy in the campaign log. Okay, I get we were engaged with an ultimate bioservant. I don't know why that matters, I guess we'll find out. If the Hydra Prison side scheme is still in play, record the name of each ally underneath it, and you're not allowed to use them, but it is, because we defeated it. If the Hydra Prison scheme is not in play, it is not, we get the upgraded version of our previous upgrades. So, instead of just +1 hit point, +1 attack, we now also have that when we defeat a minion, we get to draw a card. That would have been really good against Zola, but I get that you have to beat him to get the power. But that's still really good, so that's on its upgraded side now. And then from Zola we learn that the Red Skull is in Washington. He is not in the White House, though. He is in the Red House because of the Reality Stone making everything Hydra and red themed. And the finale to the Rise of the Red Skull, surprising absolutely no one, is the Red Skull. So the Avengers are fighting in the Red House, and I have played against him online again with a friend. He's all about the side schemes. And the more side schemes there are, the more dangerous he is. We'll see how it goes solo, because with lots of people, it's very, very difficult. Although that's true for the game in general. And that is the big finale after that. So, come back next time for the Red Skull. Thank you very much for watching. I hope mostly this was done correctly this time. This feels like the one that went smoothest, and it's purely down to that quiver, honestly. I'm tempted now, if I don't get the quiver in the initial hand, to mulligan the whole hand just to try for it. But I don't know if that's the way you should be doing it. Anyway, thinking out loud, thank you for watching, thank you for showing your support, and I will hopefully see you for the finale next time. Ta-ta for now.